I welcome you all once again to my channel. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for standing by me. And if you are just coming across this channel, I welcome you and thank you also for stopping by.
Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this palazzo pants. I call it baggy trouser or palazzo pants. Okay, you can use it to wear a turtleneck, you can use it to wear a singlet, a blouse as you wish. You can wear anything on top of it. Look at the back. This is elastic waistband.
It has pockets on both sides as well, and also it has a drawstrings that you can use to adjust it at the waistline. Okay,
So this is what we are going to be learning today. Okay, so if this is what you are interested in learning, then stay tuned and let's get into the video as well. I'm using this Ankara fabric. There is 6 years of Ankara, but I'm going to be making use of 3 years to draw this trouser. Okay, so I'll proceed by drafting the front pattern. I'll fold my fabric into two. What will determine how many folds we are going to use is the hip circumference divided by 4 plus about 8 or 9 inches extra. Because it's a baggy trouser, it has to be very free. Okay, so the hip circumference I'm working with is 48 inches. 48 divided by 4 is 12 inches. So I added extra 9 inches to it. So guys, I'm folding my fabric into two. I'm cutting the front part first, and I'll use it for the back part. So I'll first put my starting point here, like so. That's 1 inch. This that's our starting line. So from this point, I'll take my vertical measurement. So I'm going to be making use of a band of 2 inches. So I'll first of all remove the 2 inches. You see how I place my tape. Then I'll measure my hip length. I'll measure the waist to the hip, which is 10 inches. Okay, inches. Then from this point, I'll measure the crotch length. The crotch length is hip circumference divided by 4, which is 12 inches. But I'm going to be adding extra 2.5 inches for freedom, which will make it 14.5 inches. Okay, so the waist to the hip is 10 inches, but I'm adding extra 1 inch. You understand? So from this point, I'll move down to my full length. The full length of this trouser is 41 inches. So I'm going to be marking 41 inches. I won't cut out the remaining on this down part. I'll use it and fold it in. Okay. So I'll go ahead and go at this point a straight line. And also look at the hemline. The owner of this trouser is a plus size. So guys, having done that, I'll come to the hip line and I'll measure the hip circumference divided by 4. The hip circumference is 48. So divided by 4, you have 12 inches. Okay. Then I'll go ahead and add extra 5 inches allowance. 5 inches because it's a baggy trouser. I want it to be very free. So at the crotch length as well, I'll measure the same thing I measured at the hip length. So I want to have a straight line. Okay. Then I'll measure the same thing at the waistline as well. And I'm going to use my straight ruler to join these points.
So guys, for us to get the arc at this crotch line, that is the curve here, you have to divide your hip circumference by 4 and divide again by 4, which means hip circumference divided by 16. Whatever you get is what we are going to be using as the curve at this point.
So my hip circumference divided by 4 is 12 inches. That's the hip circumference I'm using. Divided by 4 is 12 inches. I'll divide it again by 4. So I'll have 3 inches. 12 divided by 4, 3 inches. So I'll mark it here. I'll mark 3 inches at this point. Then I'll connect it with a curve to meet this line here. Connecting it like so. And that will give us our trouser shape, okay? Then at the hemline, I'm not going to be marking it straight down. I'll remove 2 inches. So I'll measure what I have here at this point. This is a total of 20 inches. Okay. I'll remove 2 inches from it and I'll mark it at the hemline. So at the hemline, I'm marking 18 inches here. I don't want it to go down straight, but if you want to go down straight, you are free to mark the same thing you mark at this crotch depth. So I'll go ahead and join it to this point. Join it downwards. Hope you are seeing what I'm doing here. So I join it downwards like so. So at this point, I'll join this one straight down. So I'll come up to the waistline of this trouser. Then I will remove 1 inch here. Now blend it to the waistline. Then I'll go ahead and cut out my measurements. I'll fold this hemline, this length, I'll fold it inwards so that by the time I'm joining it, the hemming allowance will not be short. Okay, fold it in before cutting it out. So let's cut this up. So I'll go ahead and cut the back pattern as well. So this time around, I'm going to fold more than the front one, making sure I have extra 2 inches to extend the back pattern. Okay, so I'll fold my fabric once again. I'll take the front piece and place on top of the back piece. So this is me trying to arrange it. Okay, so I'm done arranging it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and add some allowances at this point. Maybe at this crotch area, I will be adding extra 2 inches allowance. Then at the waistline, you know that the back carry the bumps. The back is bigger than the front on the trouser because of bumps. So I'm going to be adding extra 1.5 inches at this top here for the length of the back. It's going to be extra 1.5 inch and I'll blend it back to this line. Okay. Then from there, I'll be extending this one by 1.5 inches or add 1.5 inches all through. Okay. And I'll draw a line across to this point. So I'll go ahead and connect this point like I did for the front. Then I'll connect it upwards like so. Yeah. And I'll blend it. I'll blend it back to the waistline. Blend it back to the waistline. As you can see me doing. Okay. Then for this crotch length, I'll add extra 2 inches. Then extra 2 inches all through to the hemming part. All through, okay? Guys, when I get to this trouser length, I'll draw a line to touch the back part because I'm going to leave a notch there. Then I'll join the line upwards like so. Then I'll go ahead and cut out the back part. Then I'll go ahead and cut the waistline like so. Okay. Then next, I'll go ahead and open it up for by the side. Okay, I'll open up this up both for the front and the back. And I'll first notch this point so that I'll know where my trouser might stop and where I'm going to be folding it from. So I'll just say a small notch here and for the back one as well. Then I'll go ahead and open up this side. I'll open the back one as well. So I'm done cutting the front and the back. Okay, so I need to mark where the pocket is going to rest. So from this point, then we are still going to join a band to it. So I'll come down 1.5 inches from here. Then I'll mark 7 inches for my pocket opening. 7 inches is okay. I'm going to notch it for both the front and the back. But I'll know where my pocket is going to sit on. Make a small notch here. Okay. And this place as well. Okay. So I'll go ahead and cut the pockets I'm going to be fixing at that point.
So guys, to cut a pocket, I will fold my fabric into 4, making sure I have about 10 or 11 inches length and 7 inches wide, just as we marked on our trouser. Then I'll go ahead and trace the shape of my pocket, then and I'll cut it out. Okay, so after tracing and cutting out the shape of the pocket, I'll go ahead and attach it to those notch that we made on the trouser. That's 7 inches length of notch from the waist. Okay, attach the pocket pieces front side facing the front pieces of the trouser. Okay,
I use my pin to hold it down. That is one as well. On the front side facing each other. So guys, I'll now go ahead and sew the pocket to the trouser with half inch for each of them, each of the pieces, okay? After stitching the pocket, I'll go ahead and join the front and the back pieces at this crotch part with 1.5 inch allowance. It's your choice. Then I'll do the same thing for the front one. Also join the front part in the front, like so. I'll join it from here to here as well. Then after joining it, I'll go ahead and join the sides. So when I join it, I'll come back to show you the next step to take. Okay. So guys, I'm gonna head to attach the pocket, front of the pocket, facing the front of the fabric. Okay. Then I sew it with half inch from the notch that I made earlier. Then I went ahead to top stitch it on the pocket. Okay. Then I did the same thing for all the pieces. Then I joined the front piece at this crotch area. I use half inch to join it at this crotch area. I also joined the back piece as well. So the next thing to do now is to open it up and place the front piece on the back piece like so. This is the back piece. Okay. So I place the front piece on the back piece and front side facing each other, the right side facing each other. Then I'll go ahead to my machine and I'll use 1 inch to sew it down. Okay, so I'll go ahead to sew it with 1 inch. I'll sew from here, from this place. I'll sew 1 inch down. When I get to this point where the pocket starts, I will leave about half inch, then use it to run the pocket all round with half inch. And when I get to this point as well, from there I'll continue with my 1 inch that I started with. Okay, I'll sew it with 1 inch all through down. I'll do the same thing to this side as well. I'll sew it with 1 inch. When I get to this pocket point, I'll leave half inch. Then I will sew it the pocket all around. I will get to this point, continue with 1 inch until I reach the hem of the trouser. I hope you get that. So let me do that. Then I'll come back to show you the next step to take. So guys, I'm gonna head to use 1 inch and join the two sides. You can see I've joined it to this point. Then I have to sew the pocket area. Then when I get to this point again, I continue joining it to the hem, continue joining it to the hemline. So I did the same thing to the other side. So I'll go ahead and hem the down part with the allowance that I left. The allowance that I left while cutting it. I'll use it to fold it in. I'll use it to fold the down part in. Fold it in and sew it all around. Then after that, I'll go ahead and close the trouser leg. I'll close it from the hem to the crotch, then to the other trouser leg. Okay, I'll use 1 inch to close it here as well. Okay, then I'll do that and I'll come and show you the next step to take. So guys, I've gone ahead to join the pieces together. As I said before, I joined here with 1 inch. I join it from this starting point. And when I get here, I use half inch to run the pockets all through the round. Okay. Then I went ahead to join it. Continue joining it from here to the hem part. So at the hem part, I've already hem it. I've folded in the allowance that I left here. I folded it in, making sure I have my full trouser length. After removing 2 inches, I'm going to use for the band. Okay, so I've gone ahead to join the first part of the trouser. I use 1 inch to join it to the other leg, from one leg to the other. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to measure the waist. The measurement I have on the waist, I'm going to be taking it. So I'll measure from this front part. I'll measure it all around like so. So guys, when I get to this 60 inches, the tape stop at 60 inches, I'll draw the tape and continue from one. So I've already gotten 60 inches. Then I'll measure the remaining one. So what I have on the waist is 68.5 inches. So I'm going to be cutting a band that I'll join to the waist. So the band will have an elastic. So the length of the band is going to be this 68.5 that I measure round plus half inch for joining it, for joining the band at the front part here together, okay? Half inch or 1 inch, depending on what is enough for you to join it. I'll go ahead and cut a band of 59 inches length and 2.5 inches of fold, okay? So I've used my pressing iron to iron 2.5 inches of fold down. So look at it. This is 2.5 inches. So I use my pressing iron to iron it down. So I'll measure 69 inches length. 60. Continue from this 60 points and get the remaining. So I need 69 inches length, but I'm going to be marking 70 inches. So I added extra 10 inches here. So and I'll cut it at this point. Then I'll go ahead and trace the 2.5 inches of fold. That's for the band. Okay. So I've gotten my band and sleeves. Okay. So after cutting the band, I'll go ahead and use I cut 70 inches instead of 68.5. So I'll use 1.5 inches to join it here. But as I'm going to join it, I will join from here. You know, it's going to have a drawstring. So I will leave opening for both the elastic to sit on and for the drawstring as well to sit on. Okay. The opening it will enable me to insert the elastic and the drawstring. So I will use 1.5 inch to join it. Join it like 1 inch, stop here. Then join from here as well, 1 inch, stop here. So that I will have opening to insert both the elastic and the drawstring. Okay, you understand? Then after that, I will notch the midpoint. I'll notch it at the midpoint, just a small notch. So I'll start to join it from here. I'll join it, open the space, this thing, or I can join it like so. So I'll join it from there and come out to the front part and join this side as well. And it will go around, you can see, to go around and come out at this point too, at this front side. Okay, so let me go ahead and join it. Then I'll come and show you how I'm going to insert the elastic. The elastic is going to be half of this waist measurement that I have here. Now I have 68.5. So I'm going to be cutting elastic of length 68.5 divided by 2. So let me just approximate it to 68. So length of the elastic will be about 39. Or you can measure the waist of the customer or the person that is going to wear it. Measure the round waist. Then remove about 1 inch or 1.5 inches and attach it. Okay, and cut the elastic. So measure the waist, remove like 1 inch, 1.5 or 2 inches as well. Then and attach it. Since you're going to use a drawstring, so even if the elastic moves, the drawstring will stay. The rope is still going to help it to be intact. You draw it and tie. Okay. So let me go ahead and join the band to the trouser. Now come back to show you the artwork. So guys, I'm done joining the band. Okay, this happens to join it all around. So I'll go ahead and start my elastic through this opening there. I will start it through this opening. So I use this setting pin and start it like so. I will start it until I come back to this point, this second opening here. So guys, I inserted my elastic to this one. I will arrange it well, make sure that it's well arranged. Make sure it is well arranged. Okay. I'll go ahead and sew it on a machine. I'll run a stitch for corner of it. Okay. I'll sew it and make sure that it's well steady. I'll top stitch and I'll sew and top stitch on it. Okay. Then I'll now put inside well. After arranging the band, I'll go ahead and stitch about 2 inches on it. But while stitching it, I'll make sure I leave the opening where I'm going to put my drawstring. So I'll measure half inch, stitch upward, measure half inch again from the down part and stitch. Okay. Then leave the middle for the drawstring to enter through. That is for the loop to enter. Okay. So and after that, I will go on and leave the rough edges. Okay. And we'll have our baggy trouser. So guys, I've gone ahead to join my palazzo. Join it at the first line and see it. Make sure of the excess thread on it. So join it from one side of the trouser to the other end. Okay. I also attach the elastic. Apply the elastic. So guys, after attaching the elastic, I went ahead to run a straight stitch. I marked about half inch. I stitch it all round, the little space of half inch upwards, and making sure I have like half inch space downwards also. Then this middle, I will leave like half inch or 1 inch in the middle here. This is where I'm going to insert my rope. The straps I'm using for the drawstring is where I'm going to be inserting it. Okay. And I'll go ahead and insert the rope. This is the rope I'm going to be inserting through that opening that I left there. And it's measured 59 inches. Okay. I measured the waist, then I added extra 20 inches to the waist measurement, the waist circumference. Added extra 20 inches, that's 59 inches. And it is the width of this rope is 1.5 inch. Okay, so I folded it into two. I double folded it, then I run a stitch all through down. So I'll go ahead. I use my setting pin to insert it through the hole. Let's a hole in the middle. One stitching it, and that is where I'm going to pass my drawstring through. Okay, so make sure the hole you let is will be your setting pin that pass through it. So So I have to insert the rope option. So the good part of this rope or drawstring we are inserting to the trouser, it will help the trouser even when the elastic slack, then the rope will assist in giving your waist the shape that is needed there, okay? So you will be the one to adjust the rope, or the customer will now be able to adjust the rope to give her trouser the shape that is needed at the waistline. You understand? So that is the use of the importance of adding rope also, or as we call it, drawstrings also to the trouser. So the setting has passed out through the sole. So remember, it's not a must to use the measurements I use on my rope. Your rope can be more longer, it can be shorter. Okay, just make sure it's able to come out of this place and it has a small allowance so that when you want to remove it or wear it on, the rope will not enter inside. You understand? So guys, this marks the end of this tutorial. You can see it. I'm gonna have to leave the rough edges. Okay, I've leave the rough edges. So this is our palazzo pants, our baggy trouser. Okay, this is it. You understand? Thank you so much for watching to the end. Please, if you are not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Support me by subscribing. Like and share this video. Give it a thumbs up and also follow for more. That's it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye bye.